Hello, hello, welcome back to another episode of cedh Bling. Today we will feature Inalla, Archmage Ritualist, right in time for Halloween here in the month of October in 2022. If you didn't already know, Inalla belongs to a category of really busted cards that WotC did an awful job of research and development. She has what's called Eminence. Eminence has yet to make a second appearance in the game, where Eminence just has a bunch of payoffs without any of the negative consequences of even attempting to play your commander. And so Inalla here wants to do really busted things with wizards. So she's a wizard tribal, right? Well, no, not really. I make this argument all the time. Allow me to make my case one more time. There's no such thing as wizard tribal. I would imagine that a tribal deck has a minimum creature count for said tribe, and so wizards historically want to do really busted, broken things with instants and sorceries. And so if you have a deck jam full of like wizards, you don't really have a lot of space for your instants and sorceries. I mean, you could, but the consistency is just not going to be there. You're going to draw into a bunch of like bricky ass dead wizards that won't interact with anything else, either in your hand or your graveyard. And so I don't believe wizard tribal is a real thing. But there are a handful of wizards that are in this deck that are one card combo with Inalla, especially since she doesn't have to be anywhere in sight. And then Inalla also has some flavor text at the bottom of her card, where if you tap 5 wizards, well, she has to be on board for this, right? So you tap you tap 5 untapped wizards to deal 7 like damage to somebody, right? So there are many instances where you'll have like many combos where you have like infinite mana of every color, and infinite storm, infinite wizards. Why you can't attack for game is beyond me, but she is there in the command zone for that option, just in case. And of course, you know, how you put your wizards on the stack is very important, as we'll see in her main combo line. Some notable exclusions in this deck are the Wonderwine Prophets combo. I had it in the deck in the 80s, but the game has sped up quite significantly since then. But you can still run a Wonderwine Prophet combo. The ideal way to run it, of course, is to reanimate the Wonderwine Prophet, maybe like an Entomb reanimate, because casting it for, I think it was like 8 CMC, plus all the other mana you need to hold up for the combo, is really bad. Say it to yourself, hard casting Wonderwine Prophet and keeping up the mana for the combo is easy. Yeah. Say that to yourself out loud. And then another combo missing from the deck that also existed on launch with Inalla is Bloodline Necromancer combos. Before we got a couple of cards in the last like year and a half, 2 years, Inalla could go, Bloodline Necromancer could go infinite with like Ashnod's Altar to make infinite Bloodline Necromancers, infinite hasty Bloodline Necromancers. Not very good. But when this card right here, Ruthless Technomancer, was released, then Bloodline Necromancer had a really juicy target in the graveyard to then make infinite tokens. I don't think it's very good. I know it wins through a rule of law, but I don't know. I just don't like the idea of like this combo needs to go off if this is in the graveyard, and then we hard cast this for 5 to get a combo on. Ugh, I'm not a fan at all. But if it means that much to win through rule of law, then, you know, as I solitaire this deck and goldfish it before I play it in paper, before I play it in real life, you know, just to look to the description below at the current iteration of my build. Also, Ruthless Technomancer also goes infinite with a Dockside Extortionist. We did a voice. We broke Dockside Extortionist meme. Again, I think that requires a Dockside count to be 7, and it's just something I'm not really interested in this deck. But like I said, just follow the description below to the link of this current build of this deck. So, with that said, I'm also going to link the cedh database Inalla entry that's there, because it has a long, detailed primer of how to do the main combo in Inalla. I have a life, so I don't have time to be writing long-winded, crazy detailed primers for my deck lists. That's crazy. But there are subtle differences between my deck and that deck, as we'll discover. Okay, I'm going to do my best to explain the Spellseeker combo. I'm not very good at this, so please forgive me if I make an error. Like I said, just follow the primer. It'll give a better explanation of that. But yeah. So we're back. We need more space because there's a lot going on in this combo. And so, since it's a wizard deck, I'm going to use my trusty old Harry Potter wand. Okay, so Inalla is never around. So we'll get a Spellseeker into our hand. Okay. Now, very important, this combo requires that you have over 7 life and 2 blue-black available. That's the entry point, and of course a Spellseeker in hand. So over 7 life, 2 blue-black available to do this combo, and none of the main combo pieces in the graveyard. They're alternatives to this, but I'm not going to go into that. That's all on the primer that will be in the link. So we use 2 and a blue to cast our Spellseeker. Okay. There's going to be an Inalla trigger, right? But we're going to have it so Spellseeker happens first. Always the original wizard will happen first. And this Spellseeker will find a Call in the Weak. And we use that black that's still left over to sack the Spellseeker. Now the Inalla trigger will happen, and we'll make a wizard token of Spellseeker, paying 1 of that Call in the Weak mana. This Spellseeker will get an Unearth. And so we'll unearth Spellseeker, and the same story, right? We'll have the Spellseeker go first, then the Inalla. So this Spellseeker will get a Burning Offering, which will sack the Spellseeker to float blue, red, red. And then we'll pay a black for the Inalla trigger, getting a second token. That Spellseeker token will get a Finale of Promise. X will be 1, and we'll use a 2 red from the Burnt Offering to pay for a Burnt Offering. At this point, we're going to copy Unearth and Calling the Weak. And of course, we're going to unearth Spellseeker, and we're going to, we could call a token for 4 black mana. These are now removed, so we're going to just remove them entirely from the equation. Is the finale removed? I don't, okay, no, it's not removed, but we don't need it anymore. And so, same story, we're going to have the Spellseeker go off first, and then the copy, but it doesn't matter because we're not sacking it to like rituals anymore. And one Spellseeker is going to get a reanimate, the other Spellseeker will get an entomb. And so we're going to entomb a Scholar of the Ages and reanimate the Scholar of the Ages, paying 7 mana, 7 life. And now the Scholar of the Ages, if you didn't already know, because this is like the only unfamiliar card thus far, Scholar of the Ages will ETB and return up to 2 target instant and or sorcery from the graveyard. And so Scholar of the Ages will get back a Burnt Offering and an Entomb. We will sack the Scholar of the Ages, the copy Scholar of the Ages will play an Entomb, and we'll just like dump a Shallow Grave. Sorry. Scholar of the Ages, so we'll Burnt Offering it and Entomb, and then we'll get the copy token of the Scholar of the Ages. So the Scholar of the Ages in the graveyard, making 7 black mana with the Shallow Grave, with the Burnt Offering, and entombing the Shallow Grave, we will reanimate Scholar of the Ages. And at this point, you're really just going to keep netting hasty Scholar of the Ages and entombing whatever you want to the graveyard and Shallow Graving back the OG Scholar of the Ages. And that's your loop, resulting in like infinite hasty Scholar of the Ages and swinging in with a bunch of chicks. So that was simple to follow, right? Let that be a lesson, right? When you play a deck with a really, really long, convoluted combo, you need to really practice it at home, in private, on your own, over and over and over again. There's no time to try to do that. There's no time to attempt to do that at a table. It's embarrassing to not know how combo flows and works. And if for whatever reason I don't have access to one of the combo pieces, I have to know the alternatives in the deck, which we'll see as we continue the deck tech. So yeah, just make sure whenever you're running a deck, like a Cascade deck or just something with a long, crazy combo line, that you just practice it over and over and over and over and over again. Now, as you saw, there are like a lot of instants and sorceries in that combo string, and so drawing into them are like bricks. And so the name of this deck is really to find Spellseeker and get the 7 life and the 4 mana online as quickly as possible. So you lessen the likelihood of drawing these bricks outside the combo. So the quicker you can get Spellseeker online, the faster you could just, the faster you get the combo online, the easier it is. The better it would be for you, just to not be stuck with some of these cards in your hand. So yeah, lessons to be learned. Practice combos on your own, at home, have notes, and just make sure you know the combo like the back of your hand. And when you have these long string combos, consistency is key. You don't want to be stuck with like combo pieces in your hand, especially if like they're bad cards on their own. Since we're in Dimir colors, we have Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consult. Just too easy to leave out. A Tainted Pack in our back pocket as a backup Demonic Consultation. have left out Seagate Stormcaller in this deck. You might have know what this card is. But Seagate Stormcaller in an Inalla deck acts as like a second Thassa's Oracle to a degree. Seagate Stormcaller has like this kicker. Don't worry about that. We pay 1 and a blue to cast the Seagate. If we have either Consult or Tainted Pact in hand, preferably the Tainted Pact, because the Consult is very dangerous. And we'll have the Inalla trigger to make our wizard token. And so, we'll have the Seagate cast a Tainted Pact. The first Tainted Pact is going to cast. The first Tainted Pact is going to find the Thassa's Oracle, and then the second Tainted Pact is going to, exile the library. And so there's a story with that. And then, of course, a Seagate Stormcaller, when you have any other like instants and sorceries, like teeny tiny the tutors, you could just double up on all that. Now, I'm double checking the reading the Seagate Stormcaller right now. I don't even think we need an Inalla trigger, because Seagate Stormcaller will ETB. And you take a teeny tiny instant sorcery, cast it to less this turn. Oh, right, if it's kicked. Right, you're not going to kick it. You're just going to pay the 1 to copy it. Okay. Actually, I'm reading it. Yeah, the Inalla trigger's kind of stupid anyway. What, are you going to quadruple up on a tutor? Oh my god, Seagate Stormcaller is broken with a demonic tutor. Oh, whatever. But this is not in the deck. Tainted Pact, of course, is a phenomenal tutor. Just to get the other half of a combo in your hand. But in an Inalla deck, it's very dangerous because we have to do it like that. Because we have a lot of these teeny tiny instant sorceries that we're gonna do loops with. And of course, Dorothy Voidwalker is very, very scary against this deck. Dorothy Voidwalker, rest in peace. So be careful with those cards. Apprentice Grasp is kind of like another outlet to the Oracle combo for me. You P-Grasp an opponent's Thassa's Oracle. So you take them off their combo, and then it's like having a Oracle in your back pocket. Very simple. Also, it's just a really weird, but I think good card to just take an opponent off of their combos. It's amazing card. Oh, another card that has been recently released from the Unfinity is Exchange of Words. That'll absolutely see play. It's like a blue staple. You could turn your opponent's Winota into a land war elves, and that's kind of amazing. Since we're red, we have access to Underworld Breach and a bunch of breachy loops. Brain Freeze traditionally is just a way to feed our breach, never really a win con. It could be, but in a deck like Inalla, where we're doing these stupid loops with wizards, your storm count could very easily be infinite. So, let's move on to our instants and sorceries, our counters package. We have a Red Elemental Blast, Pyroblast, an offer you can't refuse, Dispel, Swan Song, Flusterstorm, Mental Misstep, Mana Drain, Pact of Negation, and a Force of Will. No Force of Negation, and no Fierce Guardianship, Deflect and Swat. No use in a deck with Eminence. Our rituals, we have a Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual. We saw earlier the Calling the Weak, a Rain of Filth, a Rite of Flame, Jessica's Will. We won't get used of its dual mode at the same time. Our removal package, Chain of Vapor, Resculpt, Alchemist Retrieval. Amazing card if you're in red, because the one less generic CMC for a lot of these bounce spells comes in very, very clutch, because you could reuse your Dockside Extortionist. It's really just that simple. And then, of course, you could just pay the cleave cost to get rid of the single piece of stacks removal the single piece of stacks that's blocking you. Psych Rift, March of Swelling Mist, phenomenal card. Don't sleep on it. Very versatile. Just for like X, just for like pitching a blue card, X is 2, and boom, you get rid of two hate bears. Our tutors, we have a Mystical Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, Limdil's Volt, Gamble, Imperial Seal, Demonic Tutor, Step Through, awful card, but for the wizard cycling being 2, and I think wizard cycling could be done at instant speed. It's just a way for us to get quick access to our Spellseeker. Like I said, the quicker you get your Spellseeker, the faster you can win the game, but the less likely you are to get the cloggy hands of garbage. Our draw package, we have a Windfall and a Wheel of Fortune. And just in case I lose too many key pieces, I can just kind of reset my graveyard with a Time Twister. Some of these redundant cards in the deck, we have Persist and Unmarked Grave. Just in case I lose my Entomb or I lose my Reanimate, stuff like that. Now, once in a while, there will be a piece of hate permanent on your opponent's board that is keeping you from going off, like a Dauthi Voidwalker, for example. And so there's a way to do our Spellseeker line. If we keep up just a little bit more mana, and we can then reset the Spellseeker to continue our combo, our default combo. And so we have cards like Essence Flux, and according to the cedh database, we have Planar Incision. Now there are a lot of cards that exist like this that are these like blue flicker spells. Another one being Siren's Ruse. Now, currently in the game, we don't have any like really busted pirate that you could just incidentally get some value off of with the Siren's Ruse, and that must be why the geniuses on the cedh database put in Planar Incision over the Siren's Ruse, right? Because there's just no pirates to just incidentally gain advantage with. There's no good pirates. The pirates exist in the format, but there aren't any like game-breaking pirates that exist that I can think of that that are so broken that there's like much discussion about them possibly getting banned. And so that must be why the guys at the cedh database put in Incision over the Ruse. It has to be. So starting things off on our creatures package, we have Dockside Extortionist, Phantasmal Image, acts as a Dockside double for the most part. And now, you're like, oh, Tuna, this is not a Dockside deck. We're not going the distance. Yeah, but if we could get land our own Dockside or an opponent's Dockside, we could potentially get enough mana, right? For the cost of 2, if I can make 2 into 4, then we have the mana online to start our Spellseeker loops. Even better, if we can have our treasure count be 4, 5, 6, or 7, that could pay for wizard cycling or some tutor to get the Spellseeker. So, yeah. Imperial Recruiter, another way to get our Spellseeker, just like the Vidalcan Aether Mage. Wizard cycling is a little bit more pricey at 3 compared to the Step Through, but whatever. We have Simon Spirit Guide. We have Malevolent Hermit. Oh, I could do this. Check this out. I could use my magic. I could use my Elder Wand or whatever this is called. My wife is the Harry Potter fanatic. I don't give 2 shits. We don't care about Malevolent Hermit. We rather have the Benevolent Geist. If we can go uncontested, by casting these instants and sorceries in our Spellseeker line. Great. Phenomenal. Ledger Shredder. These are all our value creatures. Dorothy Voidwalker, Opposition Agent, Gilded Drake, and that's that. We have a Rhystic Study and a Mystic Remora. And for our artifacts, we have Wishclaw Talisman, Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, Arcane Signet, Felwar Stone, Chrome Mox Diamond, Mana Vault. Now, Mox Opal's missing. I think my artifact count is a little bit low, but that's what they did on the cedh database. I would really like to have the black talismans in this deck, and then I would also put in the Mox Opal. But again, I'm what do I know? I don't have a showing on the cedh database, so I don't know anything about this stuff. Mana Vault, Soul Ring, and a Mana Crypt. For our lands package, very simple, nothing out of the ordinary. We have the 9 fetches, the 3 shocks, the 3 duels. We'll just get through this quickly. We have a Fiery Islet, a Training Center, Morphic Pool, Luxury Suite. For utility, or to go a little bit faster, we have an Ancient Tomb. We have Atawada. Outside of Inalla, who's never on board, we have 0 legendary creatures in this deck. So I'm not going to get much Coco Chanel value out of my Atawada, but it's like a uncounterable spot removal. It's something I'll keep an eye on, its performance. I might just switch this and Phyrexian Tower for maybe a basic lands. I'll keep an eye on that, but you know, the few times I've already play tested this, I haven't run this deck in over a year, but the few times I have play tested this, like, this could get utility eating like a token just to go deeper into a combo or something. Our rainbows, we have a Gemstone Cavern, Command Tower, Exiled Orchard, Forbidden Orchard, Mana Confluence, and a City of Brass. And there you have it. Our Witch's Brew. We have Inalla, Archmage Ritualist, in 2022. If you're wondering what these sleeves are, this is a metal token from Amanda Lapong. I guess I'll leave her link in the description. Brand called Mana Moon, and same thing with the outer sleeves from Mana Moon. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, and ta-ta.